Hi everybody, my name is Lictor24, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new video. It's been a while, but I'm back on a fair few antibiotics at the moment, so sorry for the late upload guys, but let's get back into it. A lot of things have been happening on the old Warhammer 40,000 front recently. I say a lot of things, a lot of chaos themed things, a lot of Dark God flavoured things, and it all has to do with, of course, the new Shadowspear box set. A couple of weeks ago, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, we had the first teaser for the Shadowspear, which was mainly focused on the Primera side, which showed off the big fancy new, the artwork of the big fancy new jump pack infantry unit with the big gun. And now we've got the Chaos version of that video. And I've got to say, I'm slightly disappointed in it. It didn't really whet the taste buds or get the appetite going for any new potential Chaos models. Not because we've already seen the things that are shown in the video, I think. We've already seen the images that were leaked, the ones of the new Obliterator and the new Sorcerer. So it wasn't, I don't think it was as enticing as the Space Marine one, just because they'd showed us all the goods to begin with. And the story sort of like narrative flow of the video wasn't particularly thrilling to me anyway. Whereas the Space Marine one was like, honor and duty, and we're gonna go find the thing and then sort it out. This one's more like, evil, and we're gonna push the Imperium's poo right back in. It really just, well, for me anyway, the story really didn't excite me as much as it should. But the trailer dropped and we're getting a string of new releases from the Demonic Rumour engine that I think confirm a few theories and bring up some new ones. Most of all, we know Obliterators are coming. We've seen the big Obliterator bloke. It looks really, really good. And I think we've seen a few more leaked images of Obliterators knocking around the web somewhere of different weapon loadouts. We know the Sorcerer, the named character, who's going to be the villain of the box set. I think a fair few people were thinking Abaddon were going to be in this box set. No, Abaddon is not going to be in this box set. Abaddon's going to be a standalone thing, most definitely. We've had images of what looks like a new Chaos Space Marine, so that confirms a fair few theories I had on the Rumour engine of the sort of like elongated, mutated backpacks, things like that. It looks like a new Possessed or a new Chosen Space Marine, and we obviously got a new artwork of the Venom Spitter, the big spider tank thing, and yeah. But I think we're getting more from the Demonic Rumour engine at this point than we did off this video, which is a shame because I think these videos are a nice way for GW to really tease what they've got coming up. But let's have a look at the Demonic Rumour engine for the last couple of days. And first up, I've missed a few since I last uploaded, but we've got this image of this burning book here. I think everything we see in this Rumour engine is indicative of what we're going to see in the Shadowspear box. So I think with the theme that Chaos seems to be going for, of like sort of melding sort of like demonically flesh and metal and that kind of thing, obviously they've managed to take over a forge and turn it into an evil forge. I think this book's going to be some kind of upgrade for... I want to say it's going to be an upgrade for maybe the Chosen, or maybe a sort of... Yeah, I was thinking originally, you know how the Adeptus Mechanicus forces have the big, I think they're called Castellan robots, big use, and they have like a small sort of like data smith with them that's got to stay with them to keep them running. I was thinking, wouldn't it be something if Chaos had something like that, where they have these big demonic engines, and they've got to have like a sorcerer that can like buff them, or get them to do certain things, or mutate in certain ways. So I was thinking maybe this would be a sort of like a buffing character that we've not seen yet, that would buff Obliterators, or any like the Forge Fiends. I'm going to call them Forge Fiends because it sounds cool. The Forge Fiends kind of... the models from this box set. So that could potentially be something new. The next one was more exciting to me, because when I saw this big old hand, I instantly thought, that's a Mutilator. That's a Mutilator hand. We're going to get Mutilators as well as Obliterators in this box set. And that would make sense, because the packs, or the models GW sell, they really hit on something good when they decided to do like a 2-in-1 sort of thing, where you could build one or build another. And if you're building obliterators, it makes sense that they would have built-in ways to convert them into mutilators as well. See, the two sides of the same coin. Now, the theory against that is sometimes in these big boxes they only give you the spruce to do it the one way. But I would like to think that with the whole infusing guns into Space Marine sort of thing, they'd have the ranged down with the obliterators, and they'd obviously infuse a lot of knives and weapons in with the mutilators. But equally, this could be a really big possessed Chaos Space Marine. I mean, it gives off that like sort of possessed vibe with the older mouth hand thing there. But I would like to think, judging from the size of the hand and the bulk it sort of like portrays, that this is going to be a mutilator, and I'd like to think that they would do the option to make both obliterators and mutilators in Shadowspear, because it would be nice. And moving on, the next two images I think are sort of sneak teasers of something that GW have been doing for a while now. They're starting to sneak in. Well, I've started to notice that they're sneaking in more ways to build faction-focused terrain in these box sets. I think the earliest one I can remember is the Tau Shield Wall. I can't remember what it's called. The Tide Wall, basically like the floating gun and the force field platform, and they've steadily been including fortifications in pretty much every major force. For Tau, you have the Tide Wall. I think it's called Tide Wall. For Tyranids, you have the Sporosis. For the Orcs, you have the workshop, the little mech workshop they brought out. Knights, they have like the Knight refueling station. Nurgle obviously have the big horrible tree thing. I can't remember what that's called. And I think there are a few others, but I think these next two images show off a sort of demonic ritual sacrifice shrine, or a demonic sort of forge, where your forged units could be, your demonically forged units could be buffed, or maybe demons could happen. I don't think there are any movable models. I don't think these two images are showing like big ornate bits of like big possessed Chaos Space Marines or Knights or anything like that. I think these are definitely scenery, fortifications that will be in the box set, which would be nice, because if the Space Marines are infiltrating the Forge world, then surely there will be terrain, demonic terrain for the Chaos Space Marines to utilize, and that's what I think this is, some kind of like demonic forge, which will buff the maybe obliterators or the big spider tank or something like that. And lastly, we have probably the most simplest one. It's a big old power axe. Not really leaving much to the imagination on that one, guys. That's a big old power axe, so it's just a case of who's going to be holding the big old power axe, to which it could be literally anybody. Power axes are they are available in all good retail stores now. So yeah, that's it for the Demonic Ruin Engine, guys. Like I say, Shadowspear is going to be really interesting. I think more for the Forces of Chaos than they are for the Forces of Imperium, just because it fleshes out and redoes a lot of old units and introduces some new ones, named the Spider Tank, and redoes the Possessed and the Obliterators, which they are needed. When you compare the old Obliterators to the new ones just steal the show every single time, which is nice. And I think this is an alluding to something that could potentially come in the future, because this entire box set is the Black Legion. I think I'm right saying that now. Looking from all the leaked images we've seen and the coverage we've seen, it's all Black Legion, which makes me think, is an Abaddon, obviously we know the War Master's coming in, he's the head honcho of the Black Legion. Does that mean that in the future we will be getting a dedicated Black Legion Codex? I personally think it does. I mean, way back when I can't remember which one was first, it was either Thousand Suns or Death God. When those dropped, I think it was set in stone that we were going to get one of these codexes eventually. I think it was only a matter of time before we got a Black Legion Codex, just as I think it's only a matter of time before we get a Emperor's Children Codex or a World Eaters Codex. I think that's That's not if, that's more of a when scenario, because I think they've had far too much, excuse me, I win there. I think they've had far too much success with Thousand Sons and Death Guard for not to do this. And I know there's other legions as well that some people would say they deserve their own K-Rex. Iron Warriors, Word Bearers, Night Lords, Alpha Legion. I think that because those other legions aren't really dedicated to a specific Chaos God, that I think they would be more served. Personally, I think they'd be more best served staying in the Chaos Space Marines Codex, but I think GW would be missing a trick if they do not release upgrade packs for them. 41st Millennium ones, where you can upgrade your regular Chaos Space Marines, the new sculpts, obviously, not the old sculpts. You can upgrade the newer sculpts into either Word Bearers, Alpha Legion, or Iron Warriors, or whatever. Whereas things like Black Legion, they have the other unique flavour, and so would Empress Children and what's the other one? Empress Children and World Eaters. I think they could have their own unique flavour, and if done right in a certain way, that they could be their own unique armies on the tabletop, as well as any other individual Space Marine force, such as your Blood Angels or your Space Wolves. And it would really give those other legions, because they've been dedicated to a Chaos God, to have their own unique brand, sort of thing, and have their own unique aesthetic. That wouldn't just boil down to the paint job they've had. As far as thinking in depth about a Black Legion Codex, if there was a Black Legion Codex, I do not think that they should be able to have access to the specialised troop units, so like Plague Marines, Noise Marines, Khorne Berserkers, or what was the other one? The Thousand Sons one, Rubric Marines. I don't think they should have access to them, again, because they're specifically a unique Chaos God aligned, and I don't think the Chaos Gods would... I don't think they'd give up their most prized champions that way. I think they'd, with the undivided forces of Chaos, I think they help and work together as far as they need to serve their own agendas, because obviously they're all still playing the great game, and, well, narratively speaking, and once the main opposition of the Imperium's gone down, I think the Chaos Gods will just resume in fighting almost immediately, which is, I think, part of their shtick. So, yeah, my predictions for the future, as much as they're worth, we will probably end up getting our own... Well, Chaos will probably end up getting Codex Black Legion with Abaddon the Spoiler as the Warlord. To, you know, he will be to Chaos Space Marines is what Guilliman are to Ultramarines. I can definitely see, most certainly, World Eaters and Empress Children, they will have their own, with the unique Demon Primarchs, Angron, Fulgrim. I can't see that not happening at this point. GW stand to make far too much money out of it, and if GW had any sense about them, they would definitely be releasing upgrade packs to turn people's regular Chaos Space Marines, the new ones, not the old ones, into the other legions like your Iron Warriors and your Word Bearers, etc. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's just it for my ramblings about this video, guys. Again, sorry about the late uploads, but still on the old drugs there for the old illness. But I will keep my eye upon the ongoing developments from the Chaotic Rumor Engine with great interest. I think, narratively speaking, this is going to be a great chapter for the Vigilus campaign. I'm hoping that GW will kick off a global campaign that we can all participate in. Sort of like, what was the last one called? I can't remember what the last one was called, but there was the Death Guard against the Imperium. I really enjoyed that. I know a lot of other people really enjoyed that. I know we'd like to see another one, and I think Vigilus is primed to be that next one. But anyway, that's definitely it for me for today, guys, and I will see you next time. Catch you later.